Hi guys, Crafty Nurse, and welcome back to another video. A template tutorial, and today I'm going to be making template number 1. So it comes like this with a stack of 4 different sizes. So I'm going to be showing you how it looks with the 4 different layers, and I also will be showing you how it will look with the 3 layers. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. I'm gonna work on this stack first. So the first thing I'm going to do is curl the tops of them, and I'm going to use this. This is actually from, what is this? This is from a selfie stick that I got about 5 to 10 years ago. It was really cheap and it's kind of malfunctioned. So I don't use it as a selfie stick. I now use it as a curling tool for my flowers. So you literally can use anything to curl your flowers. So I'm just going to curl them back, and I'm going to hold it in place for a little bit just to make sure. There we have that. Do that to all the stacks. For this size, I think I'm gonna switch to something a little bit smaller, and this is actually a regular size glue stick. So for the last 2 layers, I'm going to use a regular size glue stick. Some other things that you could possibly use. I remember when we got some new curtain rods. There was a piece that we didn't need, and I used that leftover piece from the curtain rod to roll my flowers. That worked out pretty good. Anything could be used. You can use a pen, a marker, your glue pen. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up the middle, and I'm only going to go about 1/3 of the way. Not too far, because I want it to stack up straight a little bit. So the further you go up, further you make that slit, the flatter it will lay, and the shorter you make it, the straighter up, higher up it will lay. I'm gonna do that with all stacks. I'm gonna go about 1/3 of the way. All the different layers, I'm gonna go about 1/3 of the way. So I cut this out using my Cricut machine, but you can very well cut this out by hand. It is not that hard. I usually use about 3 pieces, 3 sheets of paper at a time to cut if I'm doing it by hand. I'm gonna move our scissors out the way. I'm gonna take our little hecagon actually, base. It has 6 sides. So each of these different layers and sizes are 6. Dab of glue there. And just do like so. I use my Cricut machine to cut out some of my petals, mostly because I just like the sharpness of it. It's just like the preciseness, the crisp edges. Sometimes I make a mistake on cutting, but honestly, when you cut it by hand, it's not a problem, because the finished piece is just so beautiful. You're not there nitpicking every little mistake that's been made, and it looks professional still. But since I have a Cricut machine and it costs what, over $400 or however much it costs, I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna take full advantage of it. But if you don't have a machine, doing this by hand, cutting out the shapes by hand is no problem. But if you have a machine and you have the time to go through loading the mat each time, if you have that patience, then go ahead and use your machine. Take full advantage. Paid enough for it, right? Okay, now the fun part. So I'm just gonna place a little strip of glue on the edge. And just place it on one side. And I'm just gonna go all the way around. Connecting it as much as possible. I don't really like too many gaps in between, but if you like that look is fine as well. This one, I'm gonna try to make it as gap free in the middle as possible. Glue on the end and placing it on the side while also not letting any gap be in between. I'm gonna say like gap, kind of like this, but if that has a lot of it, that's not a problem, because our second layer is going to cover a lot of that up. Okay. And now I'm just going to make it a little bit sturdy. Placing a little bit of glue. Ends like that. So I like to just press it down to see where it will lay. This last one, I'm not going to place any glue, because actually I'm going to place a little bit just to make it a little sturdier. And it's okay if the glue seeps through. It's not going to show in the final. I like to hold it down to see where it will lay flat. And that's where I place the glue. And now it's a little bit more sturdier. Okay, now I'm going to do the second layer. I'll show you. So this is where we have our little gap part. Show you how it doesn't make too much of a difference. As we place this flower petal here, and look, voila, the gap is almost disappeared. I don't see it as much. So I'm just going to place these layers, getting it in the middle. See right here. Placing these petals, lining it up with that middle. Third layer. Once again, I'm lining it up the middle of the previous layer. Right in that little gap between those two petals. Now this last layer, I'm going to only do this. Is the left side when you flip it over, so I'm only going to do the left side of it. Half of it, because when I go all the way around, I want to be able to tuck under that last piece. So the second petal I'm putting, I'm covering the whole bottom. Once again, trying to line it up in between these two. The last one, if it is neat to tuck, lift that up, just tuck it under. And you don't need to all the time. Like right now, it's flush. It doesn't look like anything is lifting. This actually looks like it's glued down. So I'm not gonna add some extra glue, but if it wasn't looking like this, if it looks like, oh, this piece is lifting or whatever, then you want to add some glue on the side there. Okay, and the last thing to do, we need to add a center. So these centers, I guess you can cut them out by hand, but it really was meant to use in the machine. So all I'm going to do is just push these forward towards the center. And I'm going to place the dab of glue and place it in the middle and just stack it, push it back a bit. And I'm gonna actually put 2 of these. So with the second one, I'm gonna do the same thing, push them all forward. Place it down with glue and get it in the center. Then I'm just gonna flip that. And there we have it. This is using all 4 layers. What I'm also going to do, because I don't like how much this is sticking out, I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to place it right there. And because I don't like how spaced out that one is too, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here. Bring them together. And hope you can see the difference. With this one, I'm going to do the same. A way to get around this would be to have a bit of a smaller base. This is actually my first time doing this template with this big of a base. You definitely will want a smaller hexagon. So I'm just gonna keep doing that all the way around. Add a little bit of glue here because I like how it looks when it's a little bit tighter together instead of like spaced out. And like that, I hope you can see the difference that it is making. And I think this one is fine, but I'm just going to put a little bit anyways. Just a little bit right here towards the edge. Just bring that closer. And if you feel like any of your petals aren't curled enough, you can go back in. And another way, I probably will show you with the next one, so stay tuned for that. Another way to get around gluing at the end would be to, instead of going towards the edge, instead of us like placing it like on the edge, we can bring it forward a bit and then go around like that. So I will show you on this one how to do that. But this is our template number 1 with 4 layers. Okay, so stay tuned for part 2 with 3 layers using template number 1.